Happy midweek, family. This is Brother Judah Israel, and I have another message to share with the listening ears of Yah's people, and this one will be entitled The Testament of Dan and Gad. So, you'll find out in these two testaments that we know that scripture says that Yah sent Joseph to Egypt ahead of time because there was going to be a famine in the land of Canaan. But that wasn't the only reason that he got Joseph from the presence of his brothers. They hated him so much that if Yah had not gotten him out of their presence, they was going to kill him before he became 18 years old. They sold him when he was 17. If Yah hadn't got him from his brothers, they were going to kill that boy before he turned 18 years old, because some of them hated him so much. But they was being moved by these spirits that Satan was attaching, spirit of deceit. You know, they have rank. They have the prince spirits of deceit. You know, they have assignments for all evil spirits. And so it was coming at our people, and they hadn't even fallen under the curses yet. So what you think those same spirits are doing with Yah's chosen people now? That's why you see so much crime in Babylon, the daughter of Babylon in America, among our people. These evil spirits, the fight, it's not of flesh and blood, the word of Yah says in many places, but principalities and powers and rulers and spiritual wickedness. It's nice places, you know. But see, the spirit was causing the brothers to focus on Joseph so much because his father loved him maybe a little more, and then Joseph was having all these dreams, and not only that, he was telling them that I saw you guys bowing down to me and stuff like that. And so the evil spirits was among them. You know, let me just start reading. Before I do, I always like to say, family, please keep Yah's 10 Commandments found in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. And Messiah says in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 15, if you let me keep my commandments. It says in the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 4, he that says he know me and keepeth not my commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. It says in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 19, Paul says, circumcision is nothing, uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of Elohim. So I'll start reading in chapter 1 out of the book Testament of Dan. And it says this here. The copy of the words of Dan, which he spoke to his sons in his last days in the 125th year of his life. For he called together his family and said, listen to my words, you sons of Dan, and give heed to the words of your father. I have proved in my heart and in my whole life that truth with just dealing is good and well-pleasing to Elohim, and that lying and anger and evil, because they teach man all wickedness, I confess therefore this day to you, my children, that in my heart I resolved on the death of my brother Joseph, the true and good man. And I rejoiced that he was sold, because his father loved him more than us. For the spirit of jealousy and vainglory said to me, spirits talking to him. That's what they do to people today too. They still work the same way. Said to him, okay, you yourself are also his son. And one of the spirits of Belial, one of the spirits of Satan, stirred him up. Take this sword and slay Joseph with it, so your father will love you when he is dead. Now this is the spirit of anger that persuaded me to crush Joseph as a leopard crushes a kid. But the Elohim of our fathers did not permit him to fall into my hands, so that I should find him alone and slay him, and cause a second tribe to be destroyed in Israel. And now, my children, behold, I am dying, and I tell you the truth, that unless you keep yourselves from the spirit of lying and anger, and love, truth, and long-suffering, you will perish. For anger is blindness, and does not permit one to see the face of any man with truth. For though it may be father or mother, he behaves toward them as enemies. Though it be a brother, he does not know him. Though it may be a prophet of the Elohim, he disobeys him. Though a righteous man, he does not regard him. Though a friend, he does not acknowledge him. For the spirit of anger encompasses him with a net of deceit and blinds his eyes, and through lying darkens his mind and gives him its own peculiar vision, and with which encompasseth it his eyes with hatred of heart, so as to be envious of his brother. Okay, chapter 3, verse 1, it says here, for anger is an evil thing, my children, for it troubles even the soul itself, and it makes the body of the angry man its own, and it gets the mastery over his soul, and it bestows power on the body, that it may work all iniquity. I'm jumping down to 5. And though the wrathful man may be weak, yet he has power twofold of that which is by nature. I came down with a cold a couple of days ago, y'all. But I feel much stronger than I did yesterday. I took the day off work, but I feel a whole lot better. Just got the little sinus congestion or so. Okay, verse 8 says, this spirit always goes with lying at the right hand of Satan, that with cruelty and lying his works may be worked. Chapter 4, I'm going down here. Verse 7, moreover, I'm just doing excerpts. Instead of reading the whole chapter, I'm just doing excerpts. Okay, chapter 4, verse 7 says, moreover, a twofold mischief is wrath with lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb the heart. And when the soul is continually disturbed, the Adonai departs from it, and Belial rules over it. Did you catch that, family? When the soul is continually disturbed, the Adonai departs from it, and Belial, that's the devil, rules over it. Just like that young guy, 26-year-old guy, Luigi Mangione, killed Brian Thompson, the CEO guy, and they didn't know each other, but, you know, the young guy, and he had a couple of degrees, but it don't matter if you're educated or not. If you conduct yourself into watching people, you're not supposed to do that. Watch people and compare yourself to them. It's going to make you envious toward them. It'll make you jealous toward them. And then the anger will start. And it will get so bad, well, it'll cause you to kill a person. Those are spirits. See, that's not normal behavior. To side, the Bible says, don't strive against your brother for no reason. That means compete. Don't compete against your brother or your sister for no reason. Watching somebody, what they wear. If you ain't got it, you're mad. I've seen people do this. But that's a spirit on them. But they don't know it though. And this is what caused that young man to kill that CEO guy. You steady watching him, he making $10 million a year. You know what I'm saying? But you don't supposed to get jealous because people making money like that. You know why? Because God's word says, because we are going to die. And you can't take none of that stuff with you. You know, what really counts is when Jacob's times come in. When it's our time to rule the nations again. But this time here, don't waste your time getting jealous of people because they got nice things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what did y'all tell that rich young ruler? You know, he said, what do I must do to attain eternal life? He said, you know, keep the commandments. You know, love your neighbor. Do not kill. Do not steal. He was quoting the commandments. And then the guy said, all these I have done since my youth. And Messiah told him, because he knew he was rich, he said, okay, go sell all that you have and give to the poor and follow me and you will have riches in heaven. But the guy loved his stuff more than he wanted to follow Yah, so he walked away with his head down. See? See, stuff that ain't gonna last, you know, I mean, it's all temporary. You know, so comparing yourself to people, that's why that young guy killed this CEO guy, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, he had a lot of anger. But this is what jealousy and envy can cause you to do. These spirits, they run together. They on assignment to destroy lives. The fight is in the spirit realm, family. So don't be back and forth with people and stuff. You know, moving right along, okay? Chapter 5 says this, therefore observe, my children, the commandment of the Adonai, and keep his law. Depart from wrath and hate lying, that the Adonai may dwell among you, and Belial may flee from you. See, if you hate lying, depart from wrath, that the Adonai may dwell among you, and Belial the devil may flee from you. But if you got hatred and you got lying all the time coming out of your mouth, this is what the devil likes. The Adonai will depart from you, it says up here, and Belial will rule over you. It'll be the opposite. If you're a person, you're always wrathful, you like to lie, and you got a lot of hatred in you, like a lot of those racist people do. Not only that, but you see our people being influenced by these spirits, but they think it's just a physical thing. You know, you got our people, you know, the enemy attacks our people just like he was attacking our ancestors. These same spirits are in the world. You got different gangs always warring against each other for turf, drugs, and whatever else. And you got a lot of Hebrews killing each other because these spirits are in the midst of them. They run in packs, and it's all about lawlessness. And that's what the evil spirits love. But a lot of us Hebrews are awakened. We Israelites are awakened. And we have come back to the word of Yah like our ancestors did, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And this is what Yah wants for us. So this will keep us from allowing Belial, the devil, and these spirits to use us, because we're obeying Yah's commandments. We're walking in love toward one another, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. When I don't want to make this video too long, but I love to, because this is what Yah wants. We are his chosen people, and he, you know, he's brought us back to him. And so now I know that we are Israelites, we are Hebrews, and we are so beautiful because we have Yah in our midst. And it's such a beautiful thing from before we got awakened and we just saw each other as, you know, no love. I don't know you know what I'm saying? You know, but to know who we are royalty. We are royalty. You know, a lot of our people just don't know it. But we are royalty, family. We are Yah's chosen. And so when you find out who you are, you know, you start acting like it, you know, because we are Yah's people. And how we understand how to conduct ourselves as reading Yah's word. Studying his word to finding out what we need to know. Okay, I'm going to start right here, verse 3. Love the Adonai throughout all your life, and love one another with a true heart. That's what I was just talking about, you know. And know that in the last days you will depart from the Adonai and provoke Levi. Okay, now this is something Dan is talking to his children. He's letting them know that it was going to be, our people was going to fall off, and we was going to end up under the curses. So I'm just doing excerpts. I'm not going to read all the chapters because I got some out of Gad to read too. I'm jumping way over. Okay, I'm going to do an excerpt down here. Okay, this is verse 9. And you will receive all the plagues of Egypt there. Okay, all the evils of the nations. And so when you return to the Adonai, you will obtain mercy. And he will bring you into the sanctuary. And he will give you peace. And there will arise to you from the tribe of Judah and of Levi the salvation of the Adonai. And he will make war against Belial, the devil, and execute an everlasting vengeance on our enemies. That's what's coming. That's what we're coming to. That's what we're coming to. And he will take the captivity of Belial, the souls of the saints, and turn disobedient hearts to the Adonai, and give continuous peace to them that call on him. And the saints will rest in Eden. And the righteous will rejoice in the New Jerusalem, and it will be the glory of Elohim forever. And Jerusalem will no longer endure desolation, nor will Israel be led captive, for the Adonai will be in the midst of it, living among men. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. Adonai is going to be living among men. He's going to be in the midst of Israel on this earth. So before he come back to marry us, he's waking us up first. Ain't that beautiful what our Father is doing? Before he send our Messiah back to marry us, he at least gonna wake us up first, so we'll know what we got coming. You know, he ain't gonna let us stay blind and in the blind and as the dry valley of bones. No, he gonna wake up his bride first, so we'll know who we are and what we got coming. Okay, that's a beautiful thing the Most High is doing. I see it just as clear as day. Okay, but for chapter 6, it says, "And now fear the Adonai, my children, and beware of Satan and his spirits. Draw near to Elohim and to the messenger that intercedes for you, for he is a mediator between Elohim and man. And for the peace of Israel, he will stand up against the kingdom of the enemy. Therefore, the enemy is eager to destroy all that call on the Adonai, for he knows that on the day on which Israel will convert, the kingdom of the enemy will be brought to an end." That's right. Satan knows that. He knows it. Now I'll be reading some of the book of, I skipped over Naphtali. I'll read some of it in the Message one, but I want to go over here to Gad. And I'm just going to read some excerpts from Gad. "And regarding this matter, I was angry with Joseph until the day that he was sold, and the spirit of hatred was in me, and I did not wish either to hear of Joseph with the ears or see him with the eyes, because he rebuked us to our faces, saying that we were eating of the flock without Judah. For whatsoever things he told our father, he believed him. I now confess my sin, my children, that oftentimes I wished to kill him, because I hated him from my heart." Look at that. "Moreover, I hated him even more for his dreams. And I wished to lick him up out of the land of the living, even as an ox licks up the grass off the field. Therefore Simeon and I sold him to the Ishmaelites for 30 pieces of gold, and 10 of them we hid, and showed the 20 to our brothers. And thus we were bent on slaying him through covetousness, and the Elohim of my fathers delivered him from my hands, that I should not work lawlessness in Israel." Now, if Yah hadn't taken Joseph from his brothers, they was going to kill that boy. They hated him. But see, they had them evil spirits among them, influencing their minds. Okay, jumping down to Chapter 3, okay. And do not go astray through the spirit of hatred, for it is evil in all the things of man, all the doings of man. Whatever a man does, the hater abominates himself, and though a man works the law of the Adonai, he does not praise him. Though a man fears the Adonai and takes pleasure in that which is righteous, he does not love him. Okay. Another excerpt right here. Therefore, beware of hatred, my children, for it even works lawlessness against the Adonai himself. For it will not hear the words of his commandments concerning the loving of one's neighbor, and it sins against the Elohim. For if a brother stumbles, it immediately delights to proclaim it to all men, and is urgent that he should be judged for it, and be punished, and be put to death. Wow, just because somebody stumbled one time. And if it is a servant, it stirs him up against his master, and with every affliction it devises against him, that if it were possible he could be put to death. For hatred also works with envy against them that prosper. See there, the jealousy stuff. Hatred also works with envy against them that prosper. You see, you be trying to come up, or somebody come up, and you look around, you see some people happy for that person, but you see some people got their nerves turned up, like, you know, it's like, they just feel, it's like they hate to see a person come up. These are spirits in them. That's what it is. This ain't just human behavior. Spirits are in people like that, who carry a lot of envy toward other people, jealousy toward other people. I've seen, y'all have seen it too. But these people who carry on like this, they have spirits. I've seen women get jealous of something, not all of them, but sometimes a woman might be really pretty, and not all women, but you might see one get jealous and envious. Like, why? Why? Because it doesn't matter how pretty one woman is. It takes nothing away from another woman. So I don't understand why it's a spirit. Men the same way. I've seen it in men. Years ago when I was living in Indiana, back in 1990, being some of the guys that stayed in the building that I lived in. Okay, now we were just hanging out in the front, sipping a little wine and stuff. And this one guy who didn't live in the building, but he was trying to hang with us. I'd seen him around town before. He looked like a Puerto Rican. Light-skinned dude, had long ponytail. But when I was young, I had long ponytail too. But anyway, the dudes that stayed in my building, some of them was my friends. And they came to me that day, they was like, asking me, like, let's beat this dude down. The little Puerto Rican looking dude. I said, what'd he do? He disrespect y'all, but he put his hand on your woman or something? They was like, no, he ain't did nothing. And I'm looking at him, he's drunk. He about 30, 35 feet from us. You could have pushed him, he would have fell because he's so tipsy. But these dudes wanted to beat him down just because. And I looked at him, looked at them. I said, man, I'm not touching that dude, man. He ain't did nothing to none of y'all. He ain't did nothing to me. But they was waiting on me to join with the spirits that they had. See, I ain't never had that spirit. I've never had that spirit of being jealous of another man, no matter how he looks or what he has. I never suffered from that kind of spirit. But these guys, I'm just saying, it's all over the world. Some dudes can get killed just because they balling. They might look nice, and somebody gonna get jealous, and dudes can lose their lives like that. Women too, in this world. Because people who are moved with jealousy and envy towards them, they have these spirits. That's exactly what it is. These spirits. They get inside of people. And they want to kill, steal, and destroy. So the battle is not of flesh and blood. You got to get a grip and say, nah, whatever that person doing, it ain't got nothing to do with me. That's the attitude I always had. I don't care how he look. How he looks has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't think like that. But people in this world, I like that. I've seen it. They read it. Okay. For hatred also works with envy against them that prosper. So long as it hears of or sees their success, it always languishes. For as love would even give life to the dead and would call back them that are condemned to die, so hatred would slay the living, and it would not permit those that had sinned to live. For the spirit of hatred works together with Satan. See, them are spirits. Through hastiness of spirit, and all things to men's death. Always moving fast, hasty. People got them spirits, but the spirit of love works together with the law of Elohim and long suffering to the salvation of men. Don't allow yourself to be used by these evil spirits, family. Like that young dude, Luigi Mangione, killed that CEO. But he had 2 degrees. But it don't matter if you're educated or not. These spirits will use you. If you get in your flesh and you get all envious toward this man because he's making $10 million, and, for whatever reason that he, had inside of him that caused him to, he went from having 2 degrees, being valedictorian, to getting this anger. See, focusing on another individual. That's why we ain't supposed to do that. Because it brings the spirits of envy and jealousy and anger. And the word says they come to kill, steal, and destroy. And look at that young man. He done messed up his life. But he ain't the only one. It's going on all around the world. Don't focus on nobody and concern yourself with what anybody has. Don't do that. Don't let yourself be used by spirits. That ain't just you, your personality. No, if you act like that, something is in you. If it bothers you because somebody buy a new truck and you don't have one and you rolling your eyes and stuff like that, if it's bothering you, you got company. That's what it is, family. The battle is of principalities and powers and rulers in the spirit realm. The battle is not flesh and blood. That's not what the battle is at, people. But that's what the enemies want to make you think it's about. You against somebody else. They behind the scenes. Trying to work you. Okay. Because the fear of Elohim overcomes hatred. No, I missed something here. It says here, righteousness casts out hatred. Humility destroys envy. For he that is just and humble is shamed to do what is unjust, not being reproved by another, but by his own heart, because the Adonai looks on his inclination. He does not speak against a holy man, because the fear of Elohim overcomes hatred. For fearing lest he should offend the Adonai, he will not do wrong to any man, even in thought. That's how you got to be, family. See, if you learn how to walk in spiritual maturation, like these scriptures are saying, you won't even have a negative, what is it? He will not do wrong to any man, even in thought. You get yourself walking in this family, evil spirits can never use you to do nothing. That's why I don't worry about them. The script I've written, they have no power. They have no power. They have no power. None at all. But if you walking around with anger and jealousy and envy, they're going to join with you. They're going to join with you. They're going to join with you. And they're going to use you being in your carnal nature, your flesh, to cause you to do something wicked. Like they did that young man, Luigi Mangione. And I'm not picking on him. That's just one example. Other than that, you keep yourself, on walking in oneness, like you're not competing with nobody in nothing, no job, position, no trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't live like that. Keep your mind free and clear. Of somebody making $20 million a year, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not to be used by these evil spirits in nothing. I'm going to walk in love like my Father says. Humility, peaceable, goodness, patience toward others, long suffering. It takes practice. It takes practice. But you got to start somewhere, family. I learned these things at last, he says, after I had converted concerning Joseph. See, Gad didn't know he was being influenced by evil spirits. Simeon didn't know he was being influenced by evil spirits. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is not normal. You see people with so much hate toward people and they don't even know them. They are being moved by evil spirits. Like I used to experience so much racism in my hometown when I was a kid coming up. We just trying to play, have fun, and then you got these Gentiles and Edomites throwing bottles at us, talking about niggers and all that. And I was 8, 9, young and stuff. I'm just trying to have some fun. I'm like, why? Or like sometimes we would go in stores, just to go look at the toys and stuff, and we see in passing these Gentiles and Edomites, man, they just looking at us with hate, like they could do, and they don't even know us. And we like, we just move on. But now as I learn Yah's word, those are spirits using them. Because it's not natural for human beings to hate each other for no reason. But people like that are being used by evil spirits. Until they get converted, like Gad is saying here. See, I learned these things at last after I had converted concerning Joseph. He wanted to kill Joseph. But see, he didn't know it. He had evil spirits. These evil spirits, they are so organized. They got principalities, powers, rulers, and the prince demons. Satan is their leader. And then you got prince demons under him. And they send other demons out on assignments to take down their assignment. Their assignment was to use Joseph's brothers to take him out. But Yah, though, see, if Yah hadn't been in the equation, they would have accomplished it, because the brothers had no idea they were being used by evil spirits. And just think, with regular people in the world, where it's nothing concerned about Joseph, because all this has already been done. So just say regular, ordinary people, these evil spirits they operate the same way. They operate the same way that they did back then. If it ain't broke, why fix it? They ain't gonna fix it. They operate the same way. Spirits of envy, spirits of hate, spirits of jealousy, spirits of murder, spirits of homicide. That's why you see so much going on in the land. You got major cities in the United States have hundreds of homicides every year. See, their mind is not on Yah. Their mind is just on the things in this world. And the demons are doing like this. Yeah. Let's see if we can break a record this year for homicides in this city. They are so organized against people in this world. And they have so much success because people ain't thinking by Yah and keeping his commandments. That's why his word says, thou shalt not kill. But how many people in society are thinking about trying to please our Father? Not many. That's why you always see so many homicides and all other kinds of crimes. These evil spirits, the same way they was trying to get his brothers, Joseph's brothers, to take him out, is the same way they operate today. You see some young people kill their parents these days. You know, some people kill their children. Some people kill their grandparents, these evil spirits. Some families, I've talked to co-workers on different jobs through the years. There's one guy where just these Gentiles, you know, we was on some conversation. I said, man, it was something. I can't remember this one guy. He was a janitor. And he said, man, I haven't talked to my brothers and sisters in over 10 years. And I said, why? He said, because when their father died, one person was given, you know, authorization to divvy up the money and stuff, and some of the siblings, he said, got cheated and they got mad and they just haven't spoken to each other. You know what I'm saying? Stuff because of stuff, you know. But anyway, but don't allow the enemy, these evil spirits, to use your family like they did Joseph's brothers. But y'all made sure that they weren't going to take Joseph out because y'all had plans for him. Okay, for fearing lest he should offend the Adonai, he will not do wrong to any man, even if okay. I learned these things at last after I had converted concerning Joseph. For a true conversion after a godly sort destroys ignorance and drives away the darkness and enlightens the eyes and gives knowledge to the soul and leads the mind to salvation. And those things which it has not learned from man, it knows through conversion. For Elohim brought a disease of the liver on me, and had the prayers of my father Jacob not aided me, my spirit would have surely departed. See? For by what things a man transgress, by the same he is also punished. Since therefore my liver was mercilessly set against Joseph, I too suffered in my liver mercilessly, and was judged for 11 months, for so long a time as I had been angry against Joseph. Golly, man. And now, my children, I exhort each of you to love his brother and put away hatred from your hearts. Love one another in deed and in word and the inclination of the soul. For I spoke peaceably to Joseph in the presence of my father, and when I had gone out, the spirit of hatred darkened my mind. He was perpetrating around his father like he loved Joseph, and stirred up my soul to slay him. But when he got out the presence of their father, you know, that spirit, you know, take over. Okay? Therefore, love one another from the heart. And if a man sins against you, cast out the poison of hate, and speak peaceably of him, and do not hold guile in your soul. And if he confesses and converts, forgive him. But if he denies it, do not get into passion with him, lest catching the poison from you, he takes to swearing, and so you sin doubly. Do not let another man hear your secrets when engaged in legal strife, lest he comes to hate you and becomes your enemy and commits a great sin against you, for oftentimes he addresses you cunningly or busies himself concerning you with wicked intent. And though he denies it and yet has a sense of shame when reproved, give over reproving him. For he who denies may convert so as not to wrong you again. Yes, he may also honor you and be at peace with you. And if he is shameless and persists in his wrongdoing, even so forgive him from the heart, and leave the avenging to Elohim. If a man prospers more than you, do not be vexed. If a man prospers more than you, do not be vexed. But also pray for him that he may have perfect prosperity. That's the way of Yah. Don't compete with nobody. Don't compare yourself with nobody. You're doing something that's unnecessary. You know, putting a whole lot of negative weight on your mind for no reason. For so it is expedient for you. And if he is further exalted, do not be envious of him, remembering that all flesh will die. See, everybody gonna die. And offer praise to Elohim, who gives good and probable things to all men. Seek out the judgments of the Adonai, and your mind will rest and be at peace. And though a man becomes rich by evil means, even as Esau, the brother of my father, do not be jealous, but wait for the end from the Adonai. For if he takes away from a man wealth gotten by evil means, he forgives him if he converts. But the unconverted is reserved for continuous punishment. The unconverted is reserved for continuous punishment. And in closing, for the poor man, if free from envy, pleases the Adonai in all things, he is blessed beyond all men, because he does not have the travail of vain men. Therefore put away jealousy from your souls and love one another with uprightness of heart. Love one another with uprightness of heart. This is what pleases the Adonai, family. Don't give place to the devil, family, by hating on your sister, hating on your brother, allowing envy and anger and jealousy in your heart towards somebody else for whatever reason. Like Joseph's brothers did him. But they were influenced by evil spirits in their mind, and they weren't even aware of it. Their father kept praying for them, and Yah forgave them. But they had to suffer for months for having thoughts of one. They joined with the evil spirits with wanting to kill him. And see, you know, it was because they was Yah's chosen people that Yah didn't let them stay bound by those spirits. I just think about a lot of people who are not Yah's chosen people, when he has placed spirits among them to lead them astray from him. Evil spirits are in the midst of them and giving them thoughts, suggestions, ideas, and vain imaginations to please their flesh. And they're taking their hook, line, and sinker. But the demons know that it's leading those people straight to hell once their life is over. So family, don't let that be you. We are Yah's chosen people. Let's do what it takes to please Yah by keeping his commandments, keeping the Sabbath day holy, and walking in love toward our brother and our sister, okay? So this has been the Testament of Dan and Gad. I hope you got some understanding in Yah's holy name. So until next time, may Yah bless you and your families. Stay safe and shalom.